Oseo!
Oseo.
Wave the great feather for the good of it. I'm going to start off with last week. My theme was the culture of lakes. And then since I did that, I have received a chapbook from Vivian Olds. And so I'm going to continue, just to start with that theme of the lake. And here is her chapbook, By Way of the Lake. By the Lake Way Home. By the Lake Way Home. Vivian is, a homegrown woman of Pyramid Lake. She lives there, has lived there forever. And she also has there a gallery art business, an art gallery business there. Features my art among others. And so definitely I want to read her poem for the lake, and then I'll say a little bit more about Pyramid Lake itself. But just, to warm up here with Vivian's poem. This poem is titled Oasis. Pyramid Lake lies between basin and range in the high desert of Nevada. She is enclosed by a jeweled ring set among lavender and maroon hills. Crystal and turquoise, her pristine colors anoint her crown. Water lilies on surrounding mountains bear witness to this primal sea of hidden realities. Saline waters surge, spring, spew, lapis lazuli, tourmaline slate, gray blue, lap on shorelines, reveal petroglyphs inscribed in tufa, stand covered with dust and sands of millennia. Who was this archaic artist? At the far end of the lake, towering pinnacles create chthonic forms. Hot springs swirl with bog-like substance, renewing herself with every wave. That is a wonderful and concise expression and description of Pyramid Lake. Right over here, this is another of my illustrations for Pyramid Lake, right here. And in this one I have a feather to crown the pyramid, and the surface of the currents of the lake. And here is the fish that inhabits the lake. That's called the Coyote. So keep focused on that. In Pyramid Lake, the mother of rhythm remains hidden as the basic creative energy in the form of a fish. This fish is the Coyote, a prehistoric and native fish to this lake. It may be the only place in the world that this fish lives. This fish is the symbol for the original seed power of creation and evolution. This seed power fish, at the core of all being, controls and guides its activity. Pyramid Lake is the Great Lake because she holds the motions of the power currents, and she is clear inasmuch as the universe is reflected in her, but not shrouded, and because she is deep and not easily comprehended. Pyramid Lake is the infinite reservoir of creative willpower. So there you can see why I'm saying that this is my alma mater. Vivian introduced me to this lake 50, 60 years ago, and she's been teaching me ever since. Now we'll segue into my next theme. My main theme is this summertime visitor. The summertime visitor is the great white buffalo constellation. So to start with, as an illustration, if you can go way up here to the top, on my shield cover here. And this way I have depicted the great white buffalo in a star constellation. It's made up of here, the Pleiades, the star cluster of the Pleiades, is the head of the white buffalo constellation. If you ever are out driving, or if you own a car called Subaru, the Subaru is the Japanese name for this. And then at the back, these are the 3 stars of Orion, are the back of the buffalo. And Betelgeuse is a star here, and Regulus here means that this is the rib part. And Sirius is over here, and this is the tail, the wolf star, Sirius. So all of that, and this here is the morning star. So you focus on that. Imagine this stellar buffalo's head as the brightest star in the night sky, a rolling star ball coming toward us and then hovering overhead. Imagine its white streams of light beaming down on top of my head with loving energy. Imagine this white healing light coming down over my shoulders, down over my body, and as it touches each part of me, relaxing, loving, and protecting. Now this white, downy softness envelops this body with a ball of white light energy, of true goodness, and I am protected in the buffalo's robe of white light, where only good energies can come into this sphere of the white buffalo star constellation. Wijapni Pite Kasan is the Lakota name for this. So you come back to me, and this star constellation sort of begins to come up around the summer solstice and continues, I think, until January, generally. So what our daily activities, our lives, have this spiritual aura, over us all the time, so that all of our lives and our activities are seen, within this, so that we can be guided this way. I even say that the white buffalo constellation is the oversoul of Turtle Island's Native Americans, providing an archway for the good red robe, Jankavuta, and unifies all spiritual features and maintains as an equilibrium in spite of interruptions of its status. The weather is very, very hot and humid here. The term spiritual is the mystical equation. That's what we call the 5th element. The human spirit is in that place as the 5th element. The Mayans well know of this. So we can come down here and look at here. This is my main feature here. This is the skull of the buffalo. It's pretty old. It's pretty old. And I'm going to come over here and look at this photograph here. This photograph, this is me, and the place is called the Weeping Buffalo Native Arts here. And this is located in the hamlet east of San Diego, backcountry we call it, in Yacumba. And that comes from here. The woman here had that. Like here, there is another skull. This was inside here. And so I've inherited this, maybe 40 years ago, I guess. I guess I want to show, where this piece came from. Before then, it was last known in the Lakota country of South Dakota, where, come down to here, Jerry Jacka was the main photographer of the Arizona highways years ago, and here is his buffalo skull 60 years ago, ostensibly in South Dakota. So it's so wonderful that I have inherited this piece, and this, I would really have to say, is the most, this is wakan. Wakan is that this is very, very sacred. Most sacred thing here in Coyote's Lodge. Within here, there is wild sage. So I regularly go up to the hills and harvest wild sage and give it here into the buffalo skull here. And here, come down here, here is an illustration that I made for the sacred skull. And then down here, here's a figure for the white buffalo. And if we go over here to this figure of the holy man holding up the buffalo skull, this is called Yawankal. Yawankal means raising up the skull here, through my illustration, to the constellation, to the stars. There's the medicine bundle here. And while we're over here, just over here, and here's a shield that I have here of the white buffalo, and I really enjoy the looks, of the native man. It's very, very real here with the white buffalo. This here, and we'll look at this piece here. This piece, awashin means intention, and it is the horn of the buffalo and the feather. The buffalo horn is giving intention to the feather. The intention of the feather is that it leans toward the ideal of the good. And the meaning about that is that life is a symbol by which to live. And that wisdom has been prompted by the discovering of, it's like a question, that which is loved in all things of the world. We discover that that is the primal or primitive source of our symbol. And all of that is embodied by the buffalo and how we feel about all of that. Well, watching is that. And you can come down here to this piece here. This to me is really, really rare, really rare. There's a, published in some books is one similar, a different stone that's, really, really thousands of years old. This one is, the stone is from a place, it's the east of the Salt River Canyon in Arizona, and that's the only place of this stone. And whoever carved that in the shape of this buffalo and as a sacred piece. And I have it, a hoop here. This is the sweetgrass. The sweetgrass is the main offering food for the buffalo. And here in front of it, I have, this is an old pipe carved of wood in the shape of a buffalo with a reed stem. The old pipes had reed stems for them here. And over here, we have another old piece here. This, a charm, a neat little carved. The Zuni are the people who were mostly the ones who carved these. This is from up there in Nevada. There. So all of these things, now I can say how relevant, the buffalo is. Everybody knows that the invaders from Europe came here and that they, outright wanted to extinguish the buffalo because the buffalo is our life, and the buffalo never dies. The sun is in the buffalo, so if the buffalo could die, the sun could die, and that's not going to happen. And I'm going to finish up here with a poem from the Coyote Tantras by Barry Clifford. This was published in 1967. I think I've covered everybody here. Okay. Coyote flew to the great white buffalo range, perched atop of it. Coyote stared down from the mountain at a white lake. The lake washed against a high range of mountains on one side and ran up on the skull-white buffalo sand dune on the other. The water was a different shade of white than the beach, so it was easy to see where the water ended and the beach began. And the mountain was also white. Coyote turned back from the lake, whistling softly. Always best to know what dimensions you're moving through, Blanca y Blanca, before you move too fast to get stuck. Coyote traversed the great white buffalo mountains and came upon an old man, leaning a tall pine by a pool. "Who are you?" Coyote asked the man. "I am the great white one," he said, without looking up. "And who may young first to speak be?" "Coyote no fool," barked Coyote, grinning proudly. "So what do you do here so far from the others?" The old man laughed. "I grow my white hair 30 feet long, bathe under waterfalls 3,000 feet high, empty 1,000 jugful of wine when I want." Wow! Coyote was stunned. The old man did not look up, but laughed again and again. "Call me High Plains Dragon Master. Call me Green Lotus Man. Call me Old Wine Genius." Ha 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 ha! Coyote took off fast like white on rice. A swift departure for a red rocker in a blizzard.